Hello and welcome to Flat Track Fever 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament. Hosted by Calgary Roller Derby and Chinook City Roller Derby. We're coming at you live from Acadia Recreation Complex in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm Deathnella.
Joined alongside here with Fat Boy as we're getting ready for our special game, our main event, our big hoorah, as we're set up to watch the 43rd ranked WFTDA team, Edmonton's Evil Dead, going up against the 45th ranked, what a close ranking match there, Calgary's CRDA A team, in what is bound to be a spectacular game at this 8th annual Flat Track Fever.
Fat Boy, I am so excited for this. And not only I, look at this packed house that we have here at the Acadia Rec Center. We are so lucky to be part of this magical night in Derby. Of course, this is also a Battle of Alberta and a close one, as you mentioned at that, thanks to the latest WFTDA rankings. Let's take a look, though, at the roster for tonight. Playing for CRD Calgary, we've got number 006, Knockout Sunday, number 092, Baby Slice, number 116, Chris My Ass, number 12, Ruthless Red, number 167, Ferris Bruiser, number 21, Novel Blonde, 213, Sylvia Sleep, number 238, Preacher Slaughter, number 30, Zoe Duncan, number 393, Rogue Rash, number 51, Harley Havoc, number 535, Hillary Boswell, number 69, Lush Luther, number 747, Renee, number 82, Kiki Tiki Bang Bang, that's right, number 99, Brass Monkey, and your bench staff. We have Fluster Cluck, Jimmy Soft Hands, Sparkette, and alongside with your photographer, David Dite.
And now let's roll over and check out Edmonton's Evil Dead, starting with number 1349, Razor, 19, Demented, 2, Breaking Babs, 21, Belle Rebel, 24, Shania Payne, 29, Bloody Cooper, 2931, Taz, 333, Tough Love, 45, Ridiculous, 47, Natty Dread, 66, Cat Von Doom, 68, Raz, 695, Clumsy Lover, 8, Tron, and 800, Gracie Bones, joined on the bench by Morrison, Ripper, and Sour Cherry.
And I do want to also point out on the CRDA A team for Calgary, we have two skaters making their WFTDA debut tonight. That is Ferris Bruiser, number 167, and Brass Monkey, number 99. Ferris Bruiser being an alumni of the Southern Alberta Junior Roller Derby, and what a testament to how Junior Roller Derby is helping to stack these all-star teams that are just climbing the ranks.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to watch just how much advancement we can see between some of the different styles of play we've seen here, and not just to mention as our other WFTDA games ranked higher up in there. Let's see the difference between what let's call a top 100 team versus a sub 100 team, and see what we can compare. And same goes with our mixed gender games we've been watching this weekend as well. What are we going to see the differences here as we get ready? This crowd is electric.
Oh yeah, they are so ready for this matchup between Shania Payne with the star for Evil Dead and Chris My Ass, who's back from taking a year break, so also a familiar face returning tonight.
Chris My Ass, before the game even starts, they're pumping that crowd up. She's going to work hard into that first corner, looking to make some space, and that is right. Chris My Ass, your lead jammer, first of all on tonight's A-level game.
Ooh, but Shania Payne able to get out of that miserable place where Kiki Tiki Bang Bang lives on the track on the outside line there.
Now, unfortunately for the Evil Dead, they have lost two blockers, both to the penalty box, so that's going to shorten the pack a little bit. But Chris My Ass is going to roll through and grab 4 points and take the direction from the bench staff and call that one down.
So we were talking about rankings. The last time I was able to see Calgary skating was at the WFTDA Northwest Continental Cup in Omaha, Nebraska, where they took third place. That's right, a bronze medal. So they came out of last season feeling really strong, although some new skaters on the track, and we'll learn a bit more about them throughout the game.
Lining up now, Harley Havoc for Calgary and Edmonton's Demented. Looks like Harley Havoc's going to work fast and make a break for it. But, on those toe stops, getting that running start. Demented's going to chase down Harley, who's going to call that one off. 0 for both on that one.
And of course, Evil Dead coming off of a big weekend at the Big O in Portland last week. They had 2 wins, 1 loss, and 2 very close games in that tournament. So they had a little bit of time to gel last week, and that's where a number of their skaters, Fat Boy, anyone who was new to the charter, made their WFTDA debut.
So lining up now, we're going to have number 535, Hillary Boswell, along with 2931, Taz.
These skaters know each other very well. Sometimes they skate together. But in this case, it is Boz out front. And she's getting a huge round of applause. Her former roller derby home from Saskatoon, while their A and B team are here in Calgary to play in flat track and also now to cheer on Hillary Boswell.
So Hillary's going to get back in there, grab a couple points. It looks like 2 on that one. Well, that's going to keep Taz at 0. Of course, the penalty box still has a player at least inside of it. Evil's going to start short. Having a tough time here for Evil, starting full staffed on that pack.
And here we have Ferris Bruiser. Remember, I mentioned this is her WFTDA debut, and she's doing it as a jammer, going up against Shania Payne. Oh man, that is a tough go-round. But Shania Payne getting caught up at the back of the pack there.
Ferris Bruiser takes a hit by number 47 in black. That's going to be Natty Dread, knocking her out. Well, we're going to see Shania Payne get through for lead.
Oh my gosh, crowd erupting there. A star stash by Ferris Bruiser.
A little bit of commotion there as it looks like Shania is going to get through and grab 4. A couple hands in the air. I'm not sure if she was starting to pull that pack apart or they were just making sure there were no forearm calls.
Oh, great moment there on the track. Chris Mayas giving Demented, her opposing jammer, a nice high five. We love the love here at Flat Track Fever. And oh my goodness, I just looked over at the beer garden and it is packed too. This is a great night of derby.
It is, and I can see a lot of familiar faces from playing games over the last 2 days. You can tell they're all ready just to rest, relax, and watch some great action as Chris Mayas on the outside, untouched, through for lead. You want to talk about some high-level skill, completely unknown to anybody as Chris Mayas rolls right through that pack.
She was being told by Coach Flustercluck to keep going, but she decides to call it. And Flustercluck is also just back from the Big O in Portland, where he played with the Vancouver Murder of the Men's Roller Derby Association. And he's also a jammer for Team Canada Men's. So some really great strength there on the bench for Calgary.
Definitely a busy man as we now look at Harley Havoc lined up against Taz. We get a little bit of jostling here. The pack kind of moves back towards that jam line, but once more outside line, almost untouched. That's going to be Harley Havoc once through for the lead. Taz still struggling, stuck up against that tripod, coming into the second corner as Harley is back into the pack.
Oh, Natty Dreads making life hard here for Harley Havoc, and that'll force the call off there. 2 points, though, for Calgary on that one. Just want to talk quickly about our officials crew, a wonderful assembly of some top officials here. Head ref, Hang 11. Your inside pack ref is Genuine. Your jammer refs are Landon, Flat, and Graffy. Outside pack refs, Carmen Dragon, Pete Smoke, Squid Vicious, rather. And your alt is Sparkles.
So after the first 6 jams, we're looking at Calgary Roller Derby maintaining lead jam on 5 of those, only giving it up once, and that was Shania Payne that took it away on the 4th jam.
Oh, and a little bit of defensive work there by Hillary Boswell, keeping the race for lead jammer alive. Who is going to get it? There's a no-earned pass there for Boz, so lead has not been assessed yet.
Shania Payne taking, oh no. Okay, no, we got it. Oh.
And she decides to call it. It took Landon Flat just a second there because it's really tough in turns 2 and 3. There's a whole smorgasbord of bodies out there. And this will be the last game on Canadian soil for Calgary for this month, because right after this, Fat Boy, well, they are headed at the end of the month to the Finvitational in Helsinki, Finland. And then a week later playing in Dublin. So exciting times for Calgary roller derby.
You know, and traveling that far, one can only assume there's going to be a certain amount of jet lag they're going to have to work through as well. But here at home, you can see they're firing on all pistons as Ferris Bueller working hard, but getting knocked out by the pivot, wearing number 8 for black. That's going to be Tron.
Tron, a very well-seasoned skater. Ooh, a big spill there on turn 2 as Demented comes up close to Ruthless Red. And we have a Calgary blocker being sent out. That's number 82, Kiki Tiki Bang Bang. Also the bench coach for the Calgary Roller Derby B team, Jane Deere.
Demented, able to get through the pass and accomplish lead, now grabbing 4 more points. Ferris Bueller did have the star off her head. It looks like it was just a stash as they've now made it through an initial pass.
Demented hoping to even things out with this game. We'll see where she landed. 3 more points for Evil. And that will bring our total, once it's adjusted, yes, that's right, only a 1-point difference. CRDA 18, 12, Evil Dead 11.
If this is any indication of what we have to watch after only the first 8-7 minutes, something like that, my math ain't that great, but either way, this is going to be a really good game.
And now we have Chris My Ass out there for CRDA. And Taz once again with the star, and wow, the crowd erupts as Chris takes lead. The crowd all coming from the beer garden section, by the way.
So Taz has been able to get through as well for an initial. Oh, as there's a big spill between 1 and 2. Down goes Chris My Ass, sees Fluster Cluck over there giving her the symbol, and gets the hands to the hips, but able to pick up 3 more yet, even with the spill.
Interesting you mentioned the symbol. That was actually to keep going. He seems a little flustered, if you will. Wanted them to keep running, and I think he's looking to just get some more points on that board.
Well, a point or 2 at a time will definitely take your lead up and up, however slowly it may go. It's also going to keep the other team that much closer. So you're, one good power jam and another team can really rack up the points when you're still only sitting this far away.
Yeah, both these two teams at this high a level know how to play a clean game and must play a clean game. And while we're talking, Shania Payne making quick work of grabbing lead jammer status.
As we're talking about clean games, though, number 1-2, that is Ruthless Red with the pivot stripe for Calgary, is headed for a directional penalty.
And the pack is moving so fast. Outside pack ref Pete Smoke is, well, his kilt is billowing in the wind over here.
As we come into that first corner, everybody jockeying for position. Shania Payne going to get through, grabbing 4 more.
We're seeing both blocker groupings rather, spreading out, trying to go one-on-one here. Oh my goodness, our first jammer penalty of the game, and it's a forearm call on Harley Havoc. It's a power jam for Shania Payne.
And we were just talking about this, right? So besides the fact that Shania Payne has already been able to grab a pretty good point spread here at 12 points on this jam, this is a good opportunity with no opposing jammer to really try and bring it up.
And we have one, oh my goodness, what is going on here? We have a knockout to the inside and Shania Payne getting dragged all the way back to turn 2.
And as Shania rolls back in, going to call that one off.
Yeah,
I don't believe the jammer left yet.
That's right. Harley Havoc is frozen in the penalty box, although she is standing, and she gave a symbol there with her finger saying 3, so could only be something like 3 seconds left on her clock.
Definitely can't be much, as Demented is going to take this power start.
Oh, who do we spot out there? Blocking for Evil. Part of team announcer Clumsy Lover. Let's see how she is able to help assist in this power start. Harley Havoc back on the track.
And now we do have a penalty being issued to number 8-2, Kiki Tiki Bang Bang, back off to the penalty box.
Oh my goodness, and a call as well, illegal contact on Demented. So now we're going to see a power jam situation for the CRDA team.
I am not able to keep track with all of this as we keep rolling into this first corner. More penalties being thrown out. Lead jam now given to Harley Havoc.
Yeah, that one was easy to spot, and Flustercluck just screaming, keep going, keep going. Oh, coming up on number 4 or 5 there. That's ridiculous. But Harley Havoc almost shrugs it off.
Able to grab those 4 points and taking the direction to keep on rolling, but back on the track now. Demented is going to roll on as well. Harley's going to look for some inside line, but is going to run straight into the wall of that Razor, who, again, didn't even notice the contact as Demented is able to complete a initial pass as our penalty box starts emptying.
Yeah, Razor wears the pivot stripe for a reason. Not only is her Derby IQ just next level, she has played on Team Canada for men's roller derby and in other factors too. So she's one to watch for sure when you're out there on the track, and she knows just how to hit you out and drag you back. And now we have Taz for the Evil Dead rather, taking on Ferris Bruiser. Remember, she might be making her WFTDA debut. She's not new to roller derby though, coming up the ranks of the Junior League.
Big struggle there as still able to get out ahead Taz, but Ferris Bruiser not gonna give a lot of leeway as she chases her down.
Oh yeah, Ferris right on her tail there.
And we're gonna see Taz get in there and try and grab 1 point. Going to end up with 2, and that's gonna hold Ferris scoreless there.
That was huge for Evil Dead. They now take the lead, 29, CRDA team 26.
That was absolutely incredible. I cannot understand how we're this short of a game yet. We're barely over 10 minutes, and it's there's no pull away. There's no clear, decisive.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty. I understand why you're speechless for sure. We have a new jammer out there. That's Grace Bones for Evil Dead. Well, new to this bout rather, up against Hillary Boswell, who captures lead once again. Managed to get it the last time, and that crowd erupts.
Yeah, you can see the Saskatoon group there as well, cheering for their former skater. Everybody, and we can't say enough again how much of a community derby is on and off the track as Boswell is knocked to the inside and forced back. Pivot returning, that's number 1-2 in white, Ruthless Red.
Meanwhile, Grace Bones has been doing great work, but getting recycled and caught up there in the pack. It is across the way from the announcer's table right now, but as you can see on screen, Hillary Boswell able to capitalize on the outside there of turn 2.
A few more bodies fall into the floor on that slippery concrete. We've heard all weekend the skaters complaining about just how slick it is as we see a little bit of a bump and shove. Who's that? 21 in white.
That would be Novel Blonde.
Big hit and saving that jammer out. Boswell out and around again.
Yeah, out and around Razor. Remember we talked about how difficult it is to get past Razor? Boswell's got to feel good about that effort, and that puts the CRDA team back in the lead, 34-29 for Evil Dead.
Yeah, so not just an 8-point score there for Hillary Boswell. That's also going to keep Grace Bones able to pick up 4 more on the end there.
Of course, we just didn't have time to pick it up, so still a 1-point difference. Oh my goodness. Now, we are in Calgary tonight, so you're likely going to hear cheers on the stream coming from the home crowd. Edmonton, not that far away, about 2.5 hour drive north, so we also have guests from Edmonton joining us today.
Okay, so out in front, Demented, but it is a no pass, so unable to gain lead. Harley Havoc still struggling, knocked to the ground though in that second corner.
Oh, we are going the full 2 minutes here, Fat Boy, because Harley Havoc did the star pass over to Ruthless Red. I'm excited to see Ruthless Red jam though. We'll see how this plays out. Perhaps she didn't realize that lead was still eligible, and sometimes in that moment you make that decision. It's going to be a fun jam nonetheless.
Yeah, no, this one's going to go all the way as we see 4 points picked up by Demented there. Ruthless Red circling back there.
And we have a back block penalty called on, number 476 So, oh my goodness, Ruthless Red is out. Everybody's going to the penalty box. It is a party.
Yeah, we're going to run out of seats in there, and we can't just add more. They're all zip-tied together in this venue as this track is awfully short-sighted.
Okay, hold on a second. We have 2 blockers apiece on each team. Demented, the one capitalizing there with 4 points.
Yeah.
I need to talk faster, Fat Boy, apparently, to keep up here.
It's definitely very interesting as we're starting to see players return back. Demented trying to find that space, but forced out. Going to get dragged back almost to the middle of that third corner. I'm not sure who's on the track and who's off the track anymore.
And that was a big spill there for Demented. As we mentioned, the floor is slick, and we say that with the veteran skaters having skated on it, even they were ill-prepared for it.
So Harley Havoc back on the track, or it's not Harley Havoc, sorry, that was passed off to Ruthless Red back on the track now.
And
able to grab their 4 points.
Right as the jam comes to its natural conclusion. Calgary with 4, but a big one for Evil Dead, 16 points, Fat Boy. The total now 52-38 favoring Evil Dead. Quick shout out to our NSOs who had to work overtime there for that one. Your crew head NSO is DX Zone. Your co-crew NSO is Red Baron. Your jam timer is Agent of Wield. Your penalty tracker line trackers is Red Baron and Sugar Shane. And look at that, a wonderful break, a timeout for me to continue talking about our wonderful non-skating officials. Our penalty box manager is Molly Golightly. Your penalty box timers are Masquerade and Phil Hollywood. Your scoreboard operator is Mr. Nitro, and your score trackers are Nerd Herder and Xena.
What an entertaining game thus far as we move through this. You know, and we spoke again just at the start here as to what were we going to see, what quality of game, what style are we expecting, and it has been very skillful. There have been some good hits, but nobody's laying their body out for the potential penalty-making big hit. It's been all clean, all skill, and they're taking what they can get.
And what is so great about this, Fat Boy, is that I look around this venue and there are representatives from every team of flat track, and that's saying something because a lot of these teams, they may have had the first game of the day today, and that's a long day. So for them to be here, not only to cheer and have fun, but to learn, to see the play in action. This is high-level derby that not everyone has access to, especially in a live setting.
And something else on our skill here, I'm just looking at my little stat sheet, and our score at the end of the last jam was 34-33. We did have that lead change as Demented was able to put 19 points up on that board, right? Grabbing that 52 score. Absolutely incredible. It looks like we're having a little communication here between officials and some bench staff as we continue into this timeout here.
And it seems to be resolved. We do have 2 jammers out there, Chris Mayas and Shania Payne. We've seen this matchup already tonight as well.
Right now, Chris Mayas, standing at this being her 4th jam up till now, has a 100% jam lead rate. Shania Payne, this will be their 5th jam, currently at a 50% lead rate as we move into this. And to go along with that right now, Calgary Roller Derby with a 57% lead rate on the game thus far.
And now we do have a team timeout, so if you're wondering why the stoppage continues, it's a team timeout called by CRD A team. And a smart move. Also, you might be wondering, CRD A team, a little bit different than what we've heard previously. That's right, they have shifted from being the Calgary Roller Derby All-Stars to now being the Calgary Roller Derby A team.
It's definitely going to be fun to continue watching this as we have all our referees in there, and a big thanks, of course, to all of our wonderful referees. I know we have, I think we could call them 2 special referees here as our tournament head referee and as well as our tournament, now I can't remember our Genuine's official title, but she's a very, very important person. Both Genuine and Kurz are reffing for this game, and it is going to be a very good game to watch.
It's okay, you've got a lot of stats and numbers in your head there, Fat Boy. And it's been a pleasure announcing alongside you from Saskatoon, I myself from Regina, Saskatchewan, and here we are in the heart of Alberta for the Battle of Alberta.
You just got to put a little bit of Saskatchewan in Alberta sometimes.
Yes,
as we can watch this. Shania Payne comes out, takes that lead. Chris Mayas struggling through that first corner, takes a couple big blows, but keeps bouncing. Going to get chased down into that second corner, but able to get through.
Shania Payne, meanwhile, picks up 4, calls the jam. A little bit more separation there in the points for Evil Dead. We talked about Evil Dead playing at the Big O last weekend, but also last weekend, Calgary Roller Derby hosted Mexico City right here in Calgary for a strength factor challenge. And what that means is Mexico City is looking to be WFTDA sanctioned, and in doing so, part of the hoops is that you can use a strength factor challenge to show that you are ready and willing to be WFTDA sanctioned.
So Ferris Brewer stepped up wearing the star, going up against Taz once more. Into the first corner they go. A couple bodies hit the floors. A 747's back up to try and supply a little bit of help. And Ferris Bruiser's gonna get through for lead jammer.
Oh, that's gotta feel good for her WFTDA debut, grabbing lead up against Taz. The pack now speeding up into turn 3. The Evil Dead tripod being led by Raz. But Ferris Bruiser able to get looking over at Coach Fluster saying, go, go, go.
Yeah, this is a very exciting moment for Ferris Bruiser. Not just, getting that lead jammer for the first time as a WFTDA player, but doing so in such a high caliber game with such high caliber players.
Oh, and at home as well. Talk about a little bit of pressure.
Of course, Ferris Bruiser's not going to let it go to her head as she continues to work hard on that first track. Oh, big hit there by 12.
That's Ruthless Red, yeah. She's wearing the stripe and it's a big hit. It might just be Ruthless Red. Taz, though, picks up another 3 there for Evil Dead.
Ferris Bruiser is going to grab another 4, so that's going to bring our score 46 to 62 now.
And back and forth we go. We have Grace out once again. Oh, no, looks like a quick switch. Demented will take the star for Evil Dead up against Hillary Boswell, a different matchup against Boswell.
And we're off to the races as Boswell is going to try and find that outside line. Gets around that first blocker but bounces out. Demented working kind of to the inside. Now stuck up against 2 of the white blockers. Down goes a skater at the back. Boswell struggling to get around the down skater. Out in front, though, and lead as I've missed the action in that second corner. Demented once more.
And that blocker that Demented was getting hung up on, that was Sylvia Sleep, a skater who transferred earlier this year from Toronto's MRDA team. She's also a member of Team Canada Men's.
Demented knocked out there at that first corner a few seconds ago. Preacher Slaughter going to make sure to drag her all the way back round between that first and second, right near that pivot line. And that one's going to come to a conclusion. Hillary, unfortunately, not able to grab any. 2 points picked up by Demented before she's going to get that one called down. And we're going to head into this next jam, score being 64 for the Evil Dead, 46 for the CRD A team.
We have Grace Bones, who wanted to take the line for the last jam, now at the line, up against Harley Havoc.
Grace Bones, you got to imagine if she was ready last time, she's doubled now.
That was a really interesting move there by Zoe Duncan, going right to the jammer line and basically catching Grace Bones by herself.
So one thing I've seen a lot of this weekend I've enjoyed is teams kind of utilizing almost like a pick operation, just making sure they're getting in the right spot at the right time without looking to do any major damage, but Grace Bones is going to be able to find some space nonetheless.
Yeah, Harley Havoc sent to the penalty box on a cut track call, and that is a power jam for Evil Dead right when they needed to widen up that gap.
Grace Bones got a little bit of help there from her pivot as she went in and blocked open a good space. 4 points now lined up on that power jam.
Yeah, that pivot being Tron, who is always in the right place at the right time here for Evil Dead, but Natty Dread unable.
Okay, we're going to grab 3 more points here for Grace Bones before this one is concluded. Of course, it looks like we still have our Harley Havoc sitting in the penalty box, so unfortunately 0 grab there for her as we head into the power start now for the Evil Dead.
Yeah, Evil now doing this for the last two power jams, well, including this one, freezing the jammer in there. Harley Havoc is standing, though.
Shania Payne going to try and make some quick work of it. Her blocker set back. Not sure if they're trying to drag it out or just prepping for Harley, who's now back on the track.
They were prepping for Harley. I don't think they knew exactly how much time was left. And being in the straightaway between turns, but ahead of turn one, well, you want to be prepared for Harley Havoc.
All right, so we did get the lead jammer given to Shania Payne, who was able to get past. That pack was spreading out pretty good, and they were given the no pack call.
Meanwhile, Sylvia Sleep is sent to the penalty box.
Harley Havoc back in the pack there from the beginning of corner 2. Oh, big hit laid down there by, looks like number 45 in black.
Shania Payne able to keep all her momentum as she takes those turns, and on a slick floor like this, wow, that's a godsend, although as I say that, it is stopped. Although Kiki Tiki Bang Bang for her efforts is going to the penalty box there.
Harley Havoc has taken a few really good hits here through this jam, really struggling.
Yeah, getting caught up there on Razor, who is very swift and adept with single blocking, but oh my goodness, Shania Payne with quick work on that apex.
Shania racking the points up, as we were talking about earlier. You know, you get a close game like that, you need something to start pulling it away, and Shania Payne's making sure to add the pain here with 16 points so far.
And now it's time to call it off. Racking up another 18 points for Evil Dead. CRDA team needs to get in this, needs to get control with lead. But wow, what an effort by Shania Payne. And all I keep thinking is, when she does that with so much ease, Fat Boy, is she's probably just thinking, that don't impress me much. She's here for way more. She wants more. And only then will Shania Payne be impressed.
At some point in time, you know, we're going to have to do just a little bit of karaoke. But back on the track now, we got Ferris Bruiser lined up against Taz once more. Bodies falling to the floor into that first corner, but Taz is going to still find the advantage out and gets out first. Now, Ferris Bruiser battering her way through 2 of those blockers. Now they're kind of circling up for the tripod.
And Ferris Bruiser taking her star off to stash. None of her other blockers are ahead of her, although her pivot is trying to get in position. Isn't quite there yet, and the pack is just going round and round in turn 3. She's asking for help. Her pivot is trying to provide offense. Is there going to be a star pass?
Looked like Ferris Bruiser was trying pretty hard there, but I'm not sure if that was number 30, Zoe, was quite aware what was happening or was just too focused on the, big hit there.
Yeah, that was Natty Dread, who's just causing so much trouble for Ferris.
Natty Dread is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with as the rest of this game continues on.
But Baby able to create a little bit of space. Ferris still trying to work through this pass. It's tough when your pivot is the one providing. Oh, but look at that. No! Natty Dread puts the stop on Zoe.
Zoe does now have that star cover as well.
And we have a multiplayer call on number 3-1 of Evil Dead. Or sorry, 2-1, that's Belle Rebel.
Zoe Duncan now working, trying to get through there. Still struggling, knocked to the inside. Hasn't put the star on her head yet, still just holding it in her hand. Taz is one-on-one, mano-a-mano against our former jammer, Ferris Bruiser there, but Taz is going to get through.
And Taz is just ripping that lead wide open. They've already crossed the century mark here. 109 to 50. Taz with a 20-point jam. Oh my goodness, Fat Boy, we are now winding down. 3 minutes left, more than just over 3 minutes left on the score clock.
Yeah, that was an absolutely amazing jam for Taz there. Really opened it up, considering they, the way that they've been playing thus far. Getting that and moving that score ahead is... Oh, I'm going to interrupt myself here. It looks like we have an official review being charged.
Yep, that's by Flustercluck of Calgary.
There we go.
He saw something, he's going to say something. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. We do want to say thank you once again to the wonderful hosts of Flat Track Fever 2019, Calgary Roller Derby, and Chinook City Roller Derby. It is the 8th annual iteration of this tournament, but the first time it is WFTDA recognized. We are also sharing all of our magical moments on social media, so please take the time to browse them, share them. And I thought for a second there that that was actually the head ref speaking, but in fact, it's our in-house announcer, Swiss Army Roy, loudly proclaiming news about the beer garden. So back to what I was saying, hashtag FTF 2019 is where you want to go for social media. Head ref Hang 11 will bring us all the details in just a moment on the official review. We also want to talk about Girls on Track Foundation. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? Girls on Track want to change that. Learn more about expanding access to roller derby for girls in their teens at girlsontrackfoundation.org.
While we have a chance here looking at some more of our statistics, a very interesting one I'm finding here, evrd right now with a 50% lead percentage at 10 leads, and Calgary sitting at 9 leads with 45% percentage. We've had one jam with no lead. That is a huge point spread to have, considering that they are neck and neck with jams as lead. You know, having that opportunity to call it off is such an amazing advantage that I don't think you can stress enough, especially in a game such as this. So now where we went from having such a close game, CRDA having such a, let's call it a crawl back here to try and catch up. Now, granted, they can do it in a couple really good jams, but it is going to take a few good high-scoring points, or the defense is going to really have to come out.
All right, well, right now, the head ref is speaking with the captains there. And while we're waiting, let's give a shout out to Rydell. No one else can say they've been advancing roller skating for 70 years. Rydell Skates. You'll love how your Rydells feel. RydellSkates.com.
It looks like we're getting ready now for our official review.
White team was asking us to review a back block on the black jammer. Upon review, the black jammer did make contact with the white blocker in the middle of the back and take advantage. Black jammer will start in the box. White retains their review.
A successful review there for Coach Flustercluck, and an advantageous one. This is the time if you want to start getting back into it now. Don't wait for the intermission. Let's get it going.
Yeah, and you know, we were just talking about how CRD needed a good opportunity. This is their good opportunity. 30 seconds right now. No jammer off the start. Boswell has an excellent chance. And there she's going to use it as Boswell gets out in front and takes lead.
And able to get lead assessed before Taz is even standing up in the penalty box and coming in now for that scoring pass. Just cutting through, slicing through. Oh! Coming up against a really tough blocking line. Razor is not one to mess with. And that gives number 4-5 a bit more time. And a out of play call on Belle Rebelle sends her to the penalty box. Only 2 blockers right now out there for Living Dead, and that makes things easy for Boswell.
Yeah, and it was definitely a challenge there for Taz after they came back onto the track, stuck up against Rolling Blackout there. I can see their number clear as day, making this very difficult. Taz also getting held up by Brass Monkey and Preacher Slaughter.
But that was a beautiful star pass. Taz using the distraction here on turn 4 to pass to Razor. Quick, Razor now trying to use a t-shirt whip off of Taz. Coming up against Brass Monkey though and Rolling Blackout.
Hillary Boswell has made it through for another 4-point pass. That's 12 now for Boswell. Razor still holding at 0, not quite. Oh, quick and easy through as there was a penalty issued. The last line of defense had to relinquish off to the box. Boswell on the outside getting dragged back, watches Razor come around into that third corner and calls it.
And Coach Fluster now back in the middle, not an official review, but just talking things out with head ref Hang 11. That was a big jam, though, for CRDA team. Not quite 20 points like the one before for Evil Dead, but 12. That'll tighten things up. 62 for CRDA. Evil Dead 113.
Yeah, as we head into this next one, Chris Mayas and Demented lining up. Both of them sharing fairly close in jams. 5 for Chris and 7 for Demented.
That was a big risk there by Chris, which is a nice apex jump. She can land them normally, no problem, but just drag the toe stop there on the inside. So coming back, a forearm call on Demented.
Here we go with this power jam opportunity once more for Chris Mayas. CRD's getting very lucky with these opportunities. One skate past, one more set, there we go.
And she's in control as well because she hadn't completed her initial pass, so she has been assessed lead.
That was a wonderful thing, skating there by Chris Mayas. Caught up on that one leg, but able to get through. Gonna go fast there, get dragged over by Tron.
Yeah, a little difficult to try to beat Tron to the outside line there, but great offense provided by Ruthless Red to peel off one of the Evil Dead blockers. Right now, Natty Dread being goaded by CRDA team.
Penalty box empty now. Everybody's moving fast. The star is off of Demented.
And another 4 for Chris Mayas.
I've lost the star in the pack now, but it looks like it's still in the hand.
Yes, it's just being stashed by Demented.
Demented's going to make it through. Chris Mayas is going to chase her down. Bumping and grinding around that second corner.
Chris really wants to get another scoring pass, but CRDA team is stuck in the back. Coach Fluster saying, go, go, go. Trust your blockers.
CRDA with a quick pinch there, getting a hold of Demented. Chris knocked to the outside, little slow to get up.
Yeah, Demented, it's really hard to keep her out on the inside. Her momentum is forward enough to keep her inbounds, but now she's fighting a really solid tripod up at the front of the back while Chris Mayas still working her way around the back here.
Neither jammer getting anywhere. Demented now to the outside of the track, getting pulled back again.
Big work there by Bloody Cooper on Evil Dead to do all that recycling, but now we have an official review from Morrison with Evil Dead, so we're not going to quite hit into halftime at this moment. We are going to wait for this official review to play out.
So as we stand here waiting for the official review, just a scoring update, 117 Evil Dead, 75 CRDA team.
And I realized I mentioned earlier the name Rolling Blackout. That is Sylvia Sheep. She's just wearing Rolling Blackout's jersey, so the name is incorrect. The number is 213, so if you're watching from home, Sylvia Sheep is playing with the number 213.
While we are standing here still with an official review, the bench is clearing for CRD, headed back towards their dressing room. It looks like Fluster Cluck still in the center. They're talking with one of his players.
Yeah, that's Preacher Slaughter. Preacher Slaughter is an alumni of Team Canada. Has also played at really high level WFTDA tournaments.
Hang. Both of us working with Hang for so long, we're both excited to get his name out there. Hang 11, our head ref, talking with our bench staff here.
And he will have a decision in just a moment. And that loud voice you hear over the speakers that's our house announcer, Swiss Army Roy. We're very pleased to have him. And Sonia Blade joining us on the in-venue call. And our producer, Professor Aggressor.
Now, while we still wait for that call, I just want to stress again how close of a game this is. Looking at a lead rating of 11 for Calgary and 10 for Evil Dead. That is incredibly close. The fact that they're one one lead jam away, which makes such a difference in this game, and we're still sitting at a 42-point spread. Calgary very, very able to capitalize today, making sure that they're getting as far and as fast away, Living Dead as far and as fast away as they can.
And I'm not sure if Hang 11 is going to speak about the official review, but I'm hoping that he'll come over here and let us know. Oh, he is skating back into the middle. That's what I like to see.
Our wonderful jam timer still standing on the track, showing it's an official review. As Hang 11 makes it back to the microphone.
It's not over till it's over.
White team was asking for an official review on black team was looking for an official review on white team jammer during a no pack. Upon review, white team's jammer did not have any impact for any contact, therefore the no call stands.
And with that, I think we're going to take that as the failed challenge. And now our track is empty, our benches are empty. I'm going to guess we're going into intermission.
We sure are. So come back for more. I'm Deathnella, joined by Fatboy Schwartz, and we have more second round action from the special game of Flapjack Fever 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament. Welcome back to Flapjack Fever 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament. But tonight, we are in Calgary, Alberta, Canada for the Battle of Alberta. The closely ranked CRD, that's Calgary Roller Derby A team, up against Evil Dead from Edmonton. So close to home and so close in the rankings. We are looking at 43. That's right, 43 in the rankings, Evil Dead, 45 Calgary. As of the most recent WFTDA rankings, I'm Deathnella.
I am Fat Boy, and not just close in rankings and close together for home locations. This has been a close game. Now, while the score may be off by 42 points, Evel with 117 and CRDA team with 75, looking at the statistics, it's much closer than that. Calgary Roller Derby, even though they are losing right now by those 42 points, has had lead 11 times. That's a 50% rating, where Evil Dead's got 10 leads only, 45% rating, still able to keep that 42-point difference. Looking at the big players here, Evil Dead has been rolling out a 3-jammer rotation between Demented and Taz, both with 7, and Shania Payne with 6. Shania Payne having 42 points for the individual and an 18-point jam as well in that first half. As well, Calgary rolling out a 4-jammer system with Chris Mayas, Hillary Boswell, and Ferris Bruiser, her first WFTDA game, all with 5 jams, and Harley Havoc in the lead with 7. Chris Mayas right now scoring the most for Calgary with 24. And you listen to those numbers and you don't think there should be that quite far of a difference. I would expect, maybe 10, 20 points, not 42.
42, easily surmountable with so much derby left. Let's take a quick look at what's ahead for Evo. They will be playing at Besterns in Denver, Colorado against the Rocky Mountain Roller Derby, or actually hosted rather by Rocky Mountain Roller Derby. They also just played in the Big O last weekend in Oregon. They represented Edmonton very well, winning their first 2 games and finished with a 2-win, 2-loss record. And that's what really helped in those ranking bumps. Meanwhile, CRDA, this is their last game on home soil before heading to the Kallio Invitational 2019 tournament in Helsinki, Finland. That's from May 31st to June 2nd. And before they head home, they will make a pit stop in Ireland for a doubleheader against Dublin Roller Derby and Central City Roller Derby on June 8th.
And before we get started here, coming down just a minute or so before we start, let's take a look at the penalties coming out of that first half. And we're looking right now at CRD's A team. The obvious score here now as far as penalties go, Ruthless Red and Harley Havoc both sitting at 3. Friendly reminder, of course, for those that have forgotten or those that don't know, 7 penalties maximum allowed in a game or you will be ejected. So 3's not too bad yet, but you know they're going to have to play it safe in this second half. Of course, to go along with that, let's check out the Evil Deads as we line up here. Now, looking at this, a little bit of a cleaner game. I'm only seeing 2 people with those 2 penalties. Otherwise, very clean as we start into this game. Second half, sorry, not this game.
2 of those belonging to Demented, who is on the track right now with the jammer star. And of course, that's going to be a big one. Avoid those penalty spirals, but most importantly, limit any opportunity for the other team to capitalize on a power jam.
And again, we've spoke a lot about the power jams. We have seen a few of them today. They can be an absolute difference maker, but you have to be able to capitalize on that. That's where good offense and good defense from those blockers are pivotal.
We have some great 2-person blocking here by Kiki Tiki Bang Bang, but Demented able to use some great lateral work to get past Sylvia Sheep there on turn 1. Sleep, I keep saying sheep. Sleep, Sylvia Sleep.
We'll get it yet while Hillary Boswell, that one I can pronounce, being a former Saskatchewanian with lead jam. Demented able to complete an initial.
Oh, but there's a high block called to Hillary Boswell, so she is going to the penalty box. She thought she could call the jam, but jammer ref Landon Flat saying not right now, and we are going the full 2 minutes.
No jammer is right, and no lead jammer to give away. That means we have to go those full 4 as Demented is able to roll the track and grab 4. Now going to make it through again. She grabs another 4, and we were just talking about those power jams, how they can be great opportunities. Unfortunately for Calgary, they're not the ones with the opportunity right now.
Calgary, though, at full strength on the track right now. Ruthless Red making life very difficult for Demented. Demented, oh, getting bumped to the inside there by Sylvia Sleep.
And Boswell back on the track. Helmet cover in hand.
She's putting it back on because she is able to score points. And that is another 4 for Hillary Boswell.
Demented still hung up here. Calgary putting on a great defensive front. Kiki going to come in and give Boswell a little bit of help. There is Razor Tron and 47 there in black are not going to let her go. That's Natty Dread.
But Hillary Boswell thought she was in the clear because Natty Dread stepped out, but unfortunately it's a cut track, and that's another power jam for Evil Dead.
Not what Calgary is hoping for right now. This is going to just help this point spread get a little farther as Demented grabs another 4 and calls it off.
And Evil Dead doing what they do, freezing the jammer in the penalty box there. Hillary Boswell still seated. She probably only got, 5-8 seconds shaved off of that power jam. And Shania Payne will take this power start.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a whole lot of points there as we go into this.
There is an official review happening at the moment, or rather an official timeout more so. Coach Flustercluck just unhappy right now. Also want to call attention to another bench coach for Calgary, Jimmy Softhands, who I mentioned on the stream at the WFTDA Continental Cup West, that he really does have soft hands. Well, guess what he does, because he is the team's registered massage therapist. How nice that CRDA team is able to do that, to have their registered massage therapist also be well-versed in derby and able to be on their bench.
How nice. You know, that's what we announcers need. We need, traveling massage therapists for announcers. Sitting in a chair all day, hunched over, it gets a little hard. But
you know what? I think we need to put that on the application next time.
Yes, we always look for that double duty.
Yeah, if you are an RMT, please apply.
Yes, RMTs, please come on over.
Yeah, that's Swiss Army Roy. We've been a little hunched over here, but otherwise very comfortable thanks to the fantastic hosts here.
Yep, both Calgary and Chinook City putting on a fantastic flat track favor. This, of course, being the 8th annual, first year for that WFTDA sanctioned event, and we are so excited that we can bring this action to you both here in Calgary and out across the world on the live stream. So we're gonna start here. Shania Payne lined up and getting the power start. Quick action gets out for lead. Penalty issued to Calgary's.
Yeah, that's 0-9-0 there.
0-9-0, that is going to...
Or sorry, 0-9-2, that's Baby Slice.
We'll figure it out sooner or later. Little bit of bump in there as that was number 2. Breaking Babs, knocking to the inside.
Yeah, Zoe Duncan right there, forcing Shania Payne to turn it, to call it off. I was going to say turn it off. What sport am I watching again?
So 4 points picked up there by Shania Twain. Boswell able to get out of the penalty box, but unable to catch up. Now it does look like we have an official review.
Yeah, this one is being called by Morrison. Evil Dead. Must be feeling really confident to use it this early in the second half. I mean, you got to use it when you have a reason to. Obviously feeling that Hillary Boswell did something incorrect there.
Clearly you don't want to, use them when you don't have to, but they're there for a reason. Not using them doesn't get you any farther ahead in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, we can debate clock management in so many ways, and that's why it's so important to go back and review footage, not just your own, but other teams, to see sometimes how leads are lost, how they are gained, and it comes down to a lot of the time clock management.
And as we talked about being a high-level game and top 100, that skill set we're seeing as well, not just of the clean play, watching the penalties, but how are they managing that clock? What are they doing with their timeouts and their official reviews? How are they making it work?
And I think we have a little bit of time here. I want to give a shout out to Calgary Jammer Easy Break Oven. She's not on the track, if you may have noticed. She's currently watching in Argentina. That's right. And right where she is, it's well past midnight. So thank you for watching. Shout out to the hyenas there who have welcomed Easy Break Oven with open arms and are also watching the live stream.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody over there where it's warmer than it is here. Although we were lucky today, it was 20 degrees. It was beautiful prairie day here in Calgary. Wow, can you call Calgary the prairie
Yes.
mountain?
Yeah, I'm gonna claim it as prairie mountain, as you said.
A little bit bigger hills than we have back home, but
Definitely, but a beautiful day. In fact, the ice cream truck has been outside all weekend long.
and right now getting very excited. Chris my ass hopping up and down, getting the crowd into it as it looks like Hang 11 is going to bring us our official review.
Black team was looking for a illegal re-entry on the white team's jammer from coming in from the box. Upon review, there was no cut. The no call stands.
I figured as much. If it had to do with Hillary Boswell and all she accomplished in that last jam after taking the penalty was re-entering the track, it makes sense.
Not a whole lot of options to really review there or suspected review, as Chris my ass and Taz now are going to take this one right off the get-go.
Ooh, and it looks like the run-up favored Taz, although she took a spill there on turn one, so she has the lead, but it is Chris my ass who's out way in front. Yeah, about a half lap in front, and that will call the jam. Chris getting the nod from Coach Fluster to stay on the line to go up against Demented.
Always entertaining to watch that double jam happen. Now, granted, that was a short jam. That's still taxing, especially when Chris Mayas did put it on that fast out of that second corner. That takes a lot of energy.
Oh my goodness, but she just looks like she's so ready to go. As I mentioned, coming back from a year break, I bet she's just itching to get as many bouts under her belt as she can.
I'm sitting here tapping my foot how excited I am. I can only imagine how excited she is, as Demented is going to make it through. Lead jammer just before that second corner.
The pack very tight, under control there. Going into turn two, Chris My Ass is out on her initial.
As Chris My Ass came around there, she did do the glance back, trying to see where the pack was. Looks like Demented's going to roll through.
Calgary blockers are unimpressed, asking for a skating out of bounds call, but is it worth the challenge? It might seem so. Fluster walking up with Captain Preacher Slaughter there.
Yeah, they definitely got a little worked up in that second corner right away as soon as that Whistle went off.
And when we say skating out of bounds, yes, there is the official review from Fluster. We can't say for sure that that is what it is, but we were seeing the old symbol for skating out of bounds being flashed by the Calgary blockers. And what that means is a skater, instead of taking a hit inbounds legally, decides to purposefully skate out of bounds to then call the jam.
Of course, the sport of derby being obviously full contact, and let's call it a fast-paced game, it really takes away from it. It really takes away from it as soon as you start to, I want to say, intentionally avoid those hits by moving out of bounds. There's a difference between taking the hit and rolling out of bounds and just dodging it entirely.
And I'm not sure if you could see it on the screen, but Boswell doing some funky dance moves, some Fortnite dance moves, I believe.
You know, I've never looked at a football game or a hockey game and watched them at a timeout or a review and the players on the ice or the field dance. No, you never see that. I can't count how many times I've had music in the background at a derby game and watching a jammer just getting jiggy with it.
Well, that's what makes the sport great, is that there's personality, there's spirit, there's heart. We're seeing it all out here on this Battle of Alberta tonight in Calgary.
Looks like we're getting ready here as Hang 11 sets up for his official review.
White team was looking for a skating out of bounds penalty on the black team's jammer. Upon review, the jam ending whistles had started. Therefore, the no call stands.
All right, so both teams have used their official reviews for the second. Both of them still have timeouts.
Now, as we said earlier, talking clock management and strategy, 2 official reviews gone, 1 for either team. Only 5 minutes in. This could be an interesting remainder to this second half. Again, this is not a terribly far apart game. Calgary with a few good jams, still more than able to bring this one back around.
Shania Payne tried the inside lane, now trying the outside. Boswell caught up in the back. The star immediately off as Shania Payne is awarded lead. And it was just a stash. Boswell still, star in hand, puts it on. And Shania looks, watches, calls it, kills a bit more clock. Smart play by Evil Dead.
Calling that one down too, just shortly after a Calgary player did go to the penalty box. That means the Evil Dead are going to have that one-person advantage moving into this next one, as Taz is going to line up with the star for the black-dressed Evil Dead and Chris My Ass for those white-wearing jerseyed Calgary. 5 seconds before we're ready to go here. Again, watching this spectacular A-level game between 2 very high-ranked teams. Chris My Ass fighting through. Tough Love getting in the way, but able to get past for that lead jam.
And it was necessary for CRD at this point, but Taz is so fast, even on the surface that everyone says is so slick. And the pack now speeding up to turn 3, turn 4, now stopped at turn 4. Evil Dead with a big hit out on Chris My Ass. Meanwhile, Preacher Slaughter sent to the penalty box on an illegal contact.
Chris My Ass getting lead jam on this one. This is the first time Calgary's had lead jam in this second half. Taz with 4 points rolling around there. Chris My Ass struggling up against that 2-teamed blocking wall, but able to break 3 now. Jammer on jammer rolling around, both of them 4 points grabbed.
Taz able to make quick work around Renee on Calgary, which is not always an easy thing to do. Made it look easy there on the straightaway into turn 1.
So Taz with all of her blockers at the back doesn't opt to call it off and continues in, finds an outside line, but oh, look at that. That is a cut track penalty. Taz is headed to the box. Chris My Ass has her power jam, 40 seconds there, and there's no lead jammer.
Yeah, Evil now trying to keep the pack moving even just a little bit, but Calgary doesn't want to play that game. Chris My Ass only has been to get by 2 blockers, but they're 2 tough ones. Oh, takes a spill between turns 3 and 4, decides to call it. Frees Taz in the penalty box this time.
Big hit for Chris My Ass there as she was quite slow into that fourth corner, kind of landed in a heap. Again, that is a very slick concrete floor, not making it very friendly in any way, shape, or form hitting that.
Boswell is going to take this power start for Calgary.
We've seen that a few times already in this weekend where the pack will immediately separate as that white blocking wall tries to call the no pack, but
but that still costs Boswell, who's taking another trip to the penalty box on another high block call. And that's a tough break there for Calgary. Meanwhile, Taz is just a powerhouse, fat boy. And she is assessed lead. That is right. When you come out of the penalty box, you are still eligible for lead. Star was on her head. She passed everyone legally and in bounds. She's good to go.
As Taz continues to roll around, going to grab those 4 power points. Power points, Powerpuff Girls, man, I don't know. But, you know, again, Boswell back on the track, and all of these girls tonight just putting on a absolute show. 4 more for Taz. Boswell going to complete an initial.
Yeah, Taz was wondering, hey, should we freeze Boz in the box? But it doesn't always work. As you see, power starts can be tricky. If you have the momentum as Taz does in this jam, oh my goodness. But on the apex there on turn 3, gets stuck in the middle.
Yeah, that was Novel Blonde there that had the nice hit to Taz into the inside.
Meanwhile, Brass Monkey in her WFTDA debut, taking a little spill there on the straightaway, but she has been a formidable blocker throughout this bout.
All right, so it looks like we're going to have 12 picked up for Evil Dead, 4 picked up for CRD's A team, rather. So that's bringing us 97 for Calgary. Edmonton at 168.
And the crowd here at the Acadia Recreation Complex is just feeling it. You can hear the murmur in the crowd between every jam, the cheers whenever there's lead. It's so fun to be around live derby.
So Chris My Ass now on her 9th jam. Grace Bones, this is only her 3rd jam. Chris My Ass still going to get out first in front with lead.
Oh, but Grace Bones is sent to the penalty box. That was on a back block call.
This is that power jam now. Chris My Ass well within scoring, 36 points, able to start grabbing 4 more. This is a very good opportunity.
Yeah, Chris My Ass is having a game. Playing clean for the most part.
Chris My Ass with those 36 points is standing as the top scorer for Calgary as she looks to rack those points up, going to grab another 4 after bouncing off the hit.
Yeah, she stays in bounds, coming off Ridiculous. Evil Dead there.
Little bit of a scrum there. Chris My Ass back into the pack, stuck at the front, just coming into the corner of number 3. Grace Bones back on the track.
Yeah, just completing her initial, oh my goodness, an illegal contact penalty assessed to Grace Bones, and she's going back to the penalty box. This time, Calgary deciding to freeze it. Oh, and Morrison, the coach, wanting a bit further explanation on that illegal contact call.
So with that freeze, I do believe it was fairly quick into the penalty being issued. That means that, let's call it a 25-second or so power start here for Boswell lining up for Calgary.
Well, and I hope Calgary does some active offense here, and appears so because they are on the pivot line.
Oh, Boswell with a big hit there from Tron as looking to get through, stuck up at the second corner, one-on-one.
She will not be assessed lead, though. She had a no-earned pass on Tron. Decided instead of fighting Tron to get lead, she'll just take what she can in terms of scoring points. Well, as I mentioned that, Grace Bones is standing up in the box.
Working their way on that far second corner. Boswell's going to get through one-on-one, but I didn't see the number. Able to get past and grab those 4.
Yeah, that was Bloody Cooper, who has been really difficult to get by and making things tricky for Boswell even at the end there.
Penalty box empty as Grace Bones is back on the track now. Boswell up near the front. Grace.
There was a star pass, yeah. Grace Bones still at the back of the pack there, but now as a blocker. Oh my goodness, this Calgary line is digging in the pivot here. Can't see the number where I'm at.
No, as this is a very solid game. Nobody going anywhere right now, scrumming between this third and fourth corner.
Oh, that is Tron, number 8, the pivot, getting pulled back by Sylvia Sleep. Oh, and there was a star pass here on Calgary too. I guess when you don't have lead, you have nothing to lose there. Preaches Slaughter now with the star, coming back for more. Tron gets the bump out, and that is a drag back.
Did you see that? 747 falling out of the track, still able to hold herself in bounds, supported by her teammate with that drag back. That was incredible teamwork right there.
And a collective gasp as Preacher Slaughter takes a hard hit, but a legal one nonetheless. No one going to the penalty box for that.
Tron able to get through. As another 4 points picked up by Preacher Slaughter there.
And CRDA team is comfortably past that century mark. 121, Evil Dead 168. And the lead narrows. That's how it goes. There's still plenty of derby left. Still more than a quarter of this fantastic main event at Flat Track Fever 2019.
Yes, this has been very good so far. Oh, we have Hang 11 showing an official timeout here. Again, just absolutely incredible how this game has progressed thus far. I know we've mentioned it a few times. I'll mention it a few more, but such a high caliber game between both the 43rd ranked and 45th ranked teams of the WFTDA on their most recent rankings. And it shows now Calgary coming back from a larger deficit there not that long ago. Now standing 121 to 168 for Edmonton. Edmonton holding at that 168 for the last 4 jams, not able to really pull any more points out. Now over the last 4 jams for Calgary, still able to collectively grab 12, 4, 8, and 4 points.
And just a little bit of fun facts here. Blockers Lush and Brass Monkey on the CRDA team have been so busy this week, and they've also been blocking with the CRDB team, Jane Deere, in the Alberta bracket of Flat Track Fever.
Of course, we always can't say thank you enough to all of our sponsors, and I just have one simple question for you. Did you know that by age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? Girls on Track want to change this stat. You'll learn more about expanding access to roller derby for girls and their teens at girlsontrackfoundation.org. And, of course, Rydell Skates has skates you'll love. From entry level to elite, their skates offer the latest design and materials for perfect fit and peak performance. RydellSkates.com.
All right, head ref Hang 11 having to talk things out. He has been rather chatty this game, but that's to be expected when you have the level of derby knowledge that all of these coaching staff have. You expect to see the challenges. You expect to see the discussions taking place. They know the rules. They know the new rules, and it has been a lot of fun. This is my first time doing a tournament, a full tournament, without the jammer lap point. I know, I brought it up, the dreaded jammer lap point. But it is something different, and I've actually really enjoyed it because here we are having to play really smart.
And let's just take a look at our penalties too for a quick second here, looking at Evil Dead's. So far looking fairly consistent with where we were last time, except for Natty Dread here with 4 points added up now.
Wow.
And of course, if we look at one, we should look at the other as we take a look at our Calgary team's penalties.
Kiki Tiki Bang Bang sitting at 6, so no wonder we haven't really seen Kiki out there very much. We're not going to get any description of that stoppage in time. We're going to go right back into play. Both jammers out there. It's Chris Myas and Demented. Oh, Demented going right into the back of Zoe Duncan.
Chris Myas is going to get past that one lonely blocker up at the front of corner 1 there. Oh, pivot down. And Chris Myas, though, no pass, so not able to get
Yeah, she didn't get an earned pass on that one, so she didn't get lead assessed. And funny enough, I mentioned Kiki Tiki Bang Bang, and she was actually out on that last line, so they're clearly not worried about that 7th penalty. Or not enough to pull Kiki completely.
Either Kiki's got it figured out now to just keep on that nice clean game, or as you were saying, it's just the risk they're going to take. Maybe she's got that skill set they want out there right now for that, specific reason. Sometimes you just have to be a gambler.
And we have another stop and play. I wonder how this is taking a toll on the skaters. I mean, momentum was swinging really well for Evil Dead, and now we've had stoppage. Could this benefit Calgary, or is this going to also hurt them? Stoppages are so key in your mental game as well, obviously, as your physical game.
I know the comparison might be a little bit different, but let's talk about icing the kicker, so to speak, right? You've got jammers now that are standing around who are ready to go. The adrenaline is up, and you're a minute, and you're 2 minutes, and you're jamming for a minute and a half, and then you're another 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, it definitely takes a toll, but let's see, Chris My Ass and Shania Payne both fast and furious, and it's Shania Payne out with lead.
Chris My Ass there got absolutely ran over by Preacher Slaughter.
Yeah, and she's taken that star cover off. They are not messing around, trying to create a little bit of chaos. She's nowhere near Preacher Slaughter right now, though. Preacher Slaughter actually holding up Shania Payne. All the action happening on turn 1 still. Chris My Ass is out. Shania Payne getting the call to call off the jam.
Still able to grab those 4 points, though, before that set of whistles roll out. So 172 now for the Evil Dead CRD A team, 121.
Really great work there to contain Shania Payne. It is very difficult work.
Boswell lined up against Taz. These two have been awfully busy tonight. Boswell going into her 10th jam. Taz, this her 11th. Boswell with 3 leads. Taz with 4.
And I enjoy that they both have a stance that they take. Oh my goodness. Taz, though, getting a low block call assessed. Figured that might happen. She took a bit of a slip, but it was enough to trip Zoe Duncan, and it is a power jam for Boswell.
As Boswell sets up her pack behind her of white blockers, going 1-2-1 there with number 4-5. That's ridiculous. Boswell's going to get through, though, and grab those 4 points.
One of the more easier scoring passes, and we see Calgary doing some active offense, or at least sending in Ruthless Red. A big apex jump for Boswell. Lands nicely on the inside there of turn 4.
Taz on the track, star in hand, as both teams set up.
And Calgary, well, are they ready for Taz? Whoa, really nice offense being provided there by Breaking Babs.
Ridiculous and tough love for Edmonton, making it difficult, but able to roll through for Hillary, only getting 2 points on that pass.
There were a lot of skaters going back and forth, so likely she didn't pass them. Decides to call it. She picked up 1 more point for that effort for a total of 10. No, a total of 11. They hadn't added that 1 point.
Okay, right away here, I noticed bench coach from Edmonton rolling across the track there to go speak with the officials. They've now started to confer. Definitely some unhappy coaches here, as we're now 132 for Calgary, 172 for Edmonton.
Once again, we're going to have an official timeout here as they confer. It was not an official review. As we know, both teams have used their official review this half. So whatever they are conferring about, it was to check if a call was possibly missed or wasn't. I do see Hillary Boswell stepping in to the penalty box and taking a seat. So I think that decision is made right there. Let's take a quick peek at Hillary Boswell's penalties. Trying to find her here on the map. She's at 3. Well, this might be her 4th. I don't know if it's been clocked just yet.
There we go.
Cut track penalty.
Hillary Boswell definitely going to have to rein those in. She's been a big force for their team now, as Edmonton is going to start this one on the power start.
Hillary works very consistently on her mental game, and this is why sometimes she gets into a bit of penalty trouble it happens. It's bound to happen when you're playing this high-level derby.
So Demented out there now, able to grab that lead, but didn't get very far. Looked like they got bounced back into the pack. Now able to get out of that first corner.
So interesting too, Calgary now staying in a tripod formation. Earlier we saw a lot of two groupings, having a two grouping up at the front and then a two grouping down at the back. Who knows how well that worked, but it is worth trying it out, trying it right here at home too.
Demented now with 4 points on the board as Boswell is back on the track. Had the cover in her hand, but decides to put it back on as she rolls around that fourth corner. Demented back into the pack in the second. Oh, big run into there with, I can't quite make out the number.
And it's now a power jam for Boswell. Saw that happening there. Demented taking a back block penalty for that moment there on turn 2.
Pivot for Calgary was hit the ground pretty hard. Multiplayer penalty called. Boswell's going to roll through for 4.
Well, and if she hustles, she's only got 2 blockers to defeat, although Razor back on the track for Evil Dead, coming up behind Boswell. Don't think Boswell knows Razor's there.
Calgary rolling in with the offense. Boswell tries to get a little bit of a swing move there off the jersey of one of her blockers. They start spreading the pack out. No block called. Forced to reform. Boswell still struggling at the front.
Oh, and right as that happens, Demented is released. The Calgary blockers are waiting for her, but not fast enough. Preacher Slaughter out there on turn 1. And we have number 2-0 there. 2-1 rather.
Yeah, that's 2-1. That's going to be Novel Blonde sitting down for a little while, as another 4 points are going to get picked up here by Demented.
What a jam. Back and forth we go. 8 points for CRDA team. Evil Dead with 12.
So that being a 2-minute jam here as we set up now. Looking for a score update, 184 Edmonton, 140 Calgary, slowly but surely bringing that lead closer and closer together.
And the crowd goes wild for Shania Payne and Chris Mayas, both out of the pack. The pack speeding up really quickly into turn 3.
And still rolling fast around third corner. Ref Pete Smoke is just giving her on those skates as they come back into the first corner and bring her to a halt. Shania Payne in fast, trying to break a line herself. Chris Mayas struggling around the outside, kind of bounces to the inside.
Gorgeous recycling work by Ruthless Red there. Shania Payne still able to get by. 4 points apiece for both teams. Evil Dead could just keep running this one. And I think that might be what's happening. Meanwhile, Novel Blonde, no, that is Zoe Duncan sent to the box for Calgary.
A little bit of calamity there as they come out of that third corner. Couple bodies fall. Jam's called to a conclusion. 2 points apiece picked up. So that's going to give us 6 total for either jammer. Our lead and score differential is going to stay the same. Now 190 Edmonton, 146 Calgary. Coming down 8 minutes, 45 seconds left after 14 jams in this second half.
And we have a team timeout called by Flustercluck. Good time to regroup as a team. It is not too far away. This is still within reach. Got plenty of time left on the official clock there. 8 minutes, 41 seconds.
So now looking back here, our lead percentage is starting to get a little more wonky here. Calgary with only 36% lead. Evil Dead at 50%. Looking at our power jams, those have come up a fair bit as well now. 9 power jams for Edmonton, 39 scored points there. 8 for Calgary, 44 scored points there. As we set into the continue this second half, of course, it has been a very, very entertaining game. And this half as well. It's been a lot of fun to watch Calgary start to really bring back that score. They sat pretty stagnant for a while, not getting anywhere, point or two at a time. Then they started getting some bigger jams, and they're back in it.
Well, and it always pains me to say this, but jammer penalties, that'll cost you. Multiple ones in the same jam as well. It's a tough break. It's a tough break mentally and obviously tough on the scoreboard too.
And to talk about how close, looking at this points per jam, 3.4 points per jam in the first half for Calgary, 5.3 for Edmonton. Now in the second half, 5.1 for Calgary, 5.2 for Edmonton.
Wow, yeah, you're seeing that increase in the second half.
Harley Havoc now for the white jerseyed Calgary. Black Edmonton is sporting Taz right now.
And Taz is out, but a forearm call on Harley Havoc. We were just saying jammer penalties. Got to try to keep out of that trouble.
They're definitely starting to become a problem and most certainly swaying the way the points are rolling in this game, as Taz is going to make a quick and easy 4 points.
The mood on the Calgary bench is quite sullen. I understand why there must be some frustration, but at this point in the game, keeping the energy up. Remember, that lead is definitely still within reach. And a big hit on Taz there by Breacher's Slaughter. Man, I would not want to come up against Breacher's Slaughter.
Harley Havoc back on the track now, going fast, hitting that back wall of those black blockers, looking to get through. And a nice little hop there. Taz is going to get around for those 4 points, but Harley Havoc back on the track as well, gets through, completes an initial. Penalty box emptying as the pivot. Razor returns back for Edmonton, as Taz is going to get into that pack, grab one more point, and then throw their hands to their hip, get that little wave flap going, and get that one called off.
And we have a directional call on number 2-1 there for the Living Dead. That's Belle Rebel. So she's taking a seat in the penalty box.
Looks like Fluster Cluck speaking to ref Carmen Dragon, looking for a little more information on something, as we see Chris Mayas lining up, going up against number 19, Demented. Both again, Demented having a very busy night. Chris Mayas as well, who's going to get out in front. Demented now struggling, as you can hear the crowd and the beer gardens especially erupt.
Well, that was also Chris Mayas asking, hey, can I get some love over here? We're playing here on home turf. Wow, Chris Mayas going up against Clumsy Lover, picking up 4 points.
Of course, we always say it when we're announcing the live games. I'll say it now too. The louder you cheer, of course, the faster those Derby girls go. That's their fuel as they race around that track. We've got jumps, we got hits, we got commotion.
Yeah, we also had Renee on Calgary doing a long drag back there. Demented still getting hung up, now on Baby Slice.
Chris Mayas rolling through for her third scoring lap right now. Demented able to get through and grab her first set of 4. Chris struggling at the front, gets around 45.
And getting around Belle Rebel. Belle Rebel with a cut track, not Chris Mayas.
I was getting a little nervous. I was going towards Chris Mayas there. That was a close in and out on that track for both of those players, but Chris able to maintain her position. You have to have good track awareness in a situation like that.
Oh my goodness, Clumsy Lover's moves. And that was a big directional hit there. And that'll cost number 4 or 5. That's ridiculous.
Big jam there for Calgary, as it looks like they're currently sitting 16 points. Evel going to come away with 1, and that's going to bring him to the 200 mark.
That is huge. I was praising Clumsy Lover's blocking, which you can always praise Clumsy Lover's blocking, but it was actually Breaking Babs who did a beautiful hooking move on Chris Mayas to end that jam there. Timeout called by Calgary.
Yeah, that was a really good jam, and that might just be the momentum shift now that Calgary needs to continue rolling ahead. They're not letting Edmonton stomp on them. They're not letting them get too far ahead. They're trying to keep that lead as close as they can, and actually narrowing it up now over the last 4 jams, going from 44. Edmonton pulled ahead to 53, now down to a 38-point spread. Calgary is keeping this one as close as they can, hoping to get that big break they need.
And we have to remember, even though we are on home turf, it's Edmonton coming down here to Calgary, ranked 43rd. That's right, 43rd after a phenomenal effort at the Big O. And it's Calgary ranked 45th. So very closely ranked. Top seed, Evil Dead.
Again, now just showing you how close this is in the second half. Total power points for either team, 44 for Calgary, 43 for Edmonton. But looking at our second half score here, 87 for Calgary, 83 for Edmonton. Calgary winning the scoring game in this second half. They can keep it rolling with 4 minutes, 57 seconds left. They have more than an ample opportunity to pull ahead and take a win. Crowd getting fired up here as Boswell and Shania Payne on the track. Fluster Cluck walking across to go speak to Hang.
About something on the scoreboard, apparently. You could do a really fun bad lip reading, I think, of the officials at some point. Someone do that, please, internet.
See, as much as I'd love to go ahead and try and do that, I know the head ref, Hang 11 there, and I'm going to just refrain from that one.
This is true. I do want to do a shout out now, I think we have time, to our fantastic production team. This web stream would not be possible without camera operators, Jigsaw, Doug Drillmore, Thorgasm earlier, as well Dev now, the leader, the switcher right beside us. Thank you for all the work you've done this weekend to bring Derby to the masses and to show Flat Track Fever 2019 to the world.
Of course, and along with those thank yous, we can't say enough of a thank you to these people because of the fact that most of them are doing 1, 2, or 3 jobs, whether that's being a player or doing multiple volunteering. There's not many people here today or this weekend that are just sitting still. Announcers may be an exception, but hey, we get asked to talk as Boswell's going to take a quick shot outside line, runs directly into that last blocker, gets through for lead jam. Shania Payne working hard, but a little more of a struggle, does get through. Penalties being accrued and emptied. Edmonton's down 2, Calgary down 1. Pack is going fast. Hillary with a big smile on as she comes up against
Razor.
Yeah, that.
Oh, and that will cost her a cut track. Razor very happy about that, causing a power jam situation. Yeah, Hillary didn't see it. Razor jumped back so quickly, but in time to force that cut track.
That is huge for Shania Payne now, as she's able to grab those 4 points and hopefully for Edmonton pull away with a little more of a lead here coming down into the final 4 minutes.
The last time these two met last year, CRDA team came out with the win. Evil Dead running with the momentum of the Big O from last weekend.
Boswell back on the track, star already in hand. Shania Payne through for another 4. Penalty issued, Calgary's losing.
Yeah, that's Sylvia Sleep. A blocker apiece in the penalty box right now.
Clock still rolling down. Evil's got 12 points on the board. Another 4 as Shania Payne is going to roll once through. Hillary Boswell, star in a hand, rolls through and gets 4 of her own. Back grabbing a little bit of speed, looking a little bit short-handed there as they move around. Oh, a little blocker action there.
Yeah.
Shania
Almost made contact there with Squid Vicious, the outside pack ref.
Shania Payne working hard to put this nail in the coffin, as the saying goes, grabbing another 4 points. When the whistles blow, Boswell's going to grab 3 more.
Yeah, there was a no-earned pass on one of those blockers.
So with that, now I was just talking about that score differential from 38 points. Now Calgary behind 51. Evil Dead 2-2-0. Calgary CRDA team 169.
Yeah, Evil Dead with a 20-point jam, massive at this time in the game.
This is definitely going to make it difficult for Chris Mayas, now brunting the workload, trying to get up there as the jammer, hoping that her blockers can give her that offense she needs, but Razor is not going to make it easy, taking down Chris Mayas, who's still able to get up and through.
And that's why the crowd is going just nutty in the beer gardens. 2 Evil Dead blockers now as Razor sits herself down in the penalty box.
Chris Mayas goes running in there and gets a little bit of help from one of her blockers. I believe that was Baby Slice. Taz through for her first. Chris Mayas has 4. Taz gets in there, gets down a pass, gets around a few. Ruthless Red setting up to make that stop.
Oh.
Getting help now by...
Oh my goodness, that was an interesting butt-to-butt bump there by Baby Slice and Renee.
Chris Mayas and Taz up there. Chris Mayas doing a little bit of defensive maneuvers, trying to hold her back.
Evil Dead set up at the back of the pack, ready to catch Chris Mayas. She sticks her hips in the middle. Does she get anything for that? She does. She picks up 2 more, bringing the total to 10 for CRD A-Team on that jam, 4 for Evil Dead.
All right, a little bit of a difference now. 45-point differential with only a minute remaining in this game. Oh, this is absolutely ecstatic. The crowd, you can feel the vibrations. Everybody's ready to watch where this one's going to go. Both teams ready. Who do we got lined up here? Demented is going to take this one. Boswell set up to go.
And we have a timeout called by Morrison. Smart move, depending how this plays out. Wanting to be able to get another jam in this one. And I did want to mention, we gave props to our production team. I believe I mispronounced the gentleman to my left's name. It's Dev Nall. I hope that's correct. Can I get the nod? Kind of? Maybe?
I'm going to guess by the
Yes.
good smile there that everything is all well and forgiven.
I just really need his approval. And so, there we go. I get the nod. Oh, he's on a 5-second delay. That's why he's like, what are you even talking about? And now you get a little bit of insight into the behind the scenes. Once again, I'm Deathnella, joined by Fatboy Schwartz. You can't see our pretty faces, but we are having quite a time here in Calgary, really enjoying Flat Track Fever 2019.
It has been an absolutely wonderful one. Again, this is the 8th annual, the first ever WFTDA sanctioned, and that is what is allowing us to bring you this wonderful game. Sanctioned WFTDA ranked Edmonton 43rd, Calgary's 45th as the whistles blow. And we are off to the races looking for who's out in front. It's Demented going to get out and take lead.
Yeah, Boswell actually lost the star on her helmet naturally while trying to get through the wall of Clumsy Lover, Tron, and Razor. And that is that jam. We'll see how things shake up here. We had some jumping up and down from the Evil Dead blockers.
Clock winding down, 15 seconds, of course. If there's no timeout before, nobody stops the clock, that likely will be the end.
Well, yeah, CRD A-Team has finished their timeouts. We are moving into the unofficial score there.
And the whistle blows from our jam ref. The time is up. The scores will be calculated, and I'm going to call that a fantastic game.
That is your word, Fat Boy, and I love it when you say it. Evil Dead, unofficially, 224 points to CRD A-Team 179. What a game. We are playing in CRD A-Team home turf, but it was the Evil Dead, the visiting Evil Dead, who took it. I really think that the momentum from the Big O swung into this weekend because they came off of 2 wins, 2 losses. They're extremely close games. They just came in with a new attitude, a powerhouse, and of course a higher ranking, which, come on, that's got to feel good. 43rd to 45, so close, and so close to have those teams right here in Alberta.
You also can't speak enough, and looking at the score again, it's not that far apart. How close of a second half this was, how close of a game this was, how amazing all of these players played, the strategy, the skill. It was a wonderfully well done and well played game.
I know our production crew wants to head on home, but I do want to give a shout out one more time to our officials: Hang 11, Genuine, Landon Flat, Graffy, Carmen Dragon, Pete Smoke, Squid Vicious, and Sparkles, and your NSOs.
Of course, our NSOs, we can't thank them enough.
DX Zone, Red Baron, Agent of Wield, Red Baron, Sugar Shane, Molly Go Lightly, Masquerade, Phil Hollywood, Mr. Nitro, Nerd Herder, and Xena.
And with that now, I'm going to call the final score has been set up. We're looking at the winners, the Edmonton Evil Dead with a score of 224. Calgary Roller Derby's A-Team with 179. What a fantastic end to this absolutely amazing A-level game. It has been my pleasure calling my name once again. Fat Boy joined along with Death Nella, and I couldn't ask for a better night.
We are so glad you joined us here live from the Acadia Recreation Complex in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Wherever you are in the world, have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow with more Flat Track Fever 2019, a WFTDA recognized tournament.